Hello and welcome to Pick a Card. Okay, so I've got three decks in front of me again. Deck one, two, and three. So pick which one resonates to you. Okay, and I'm going to pick a card from each one and give you a reading. Okay, so deck number one, people. This is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Cannon Reid, published by Llewellyn. Oh no, actually, it's not saying the wrong one. That's the Witch's Tarot. By Llewellyn. This one is The Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. Okay, so two Witch's Tarots today. So let's get a card for you. Okay, so this is for people who chose number one. Okay, there's the Death card. And some people may be quite afraid of that card. I actually like it. It's one of my favourite cards. It basically means change, transformation. In some cases, it can mean death, but it's very rare. It depends on what other cards come up with it. And in most cases, it's actually a nice change. It means that one door's closing and another one is opening for you. And so, for those people who went for deck number one, this is opportunities coming for you, opportunities arising, doors opening, things that you'll be able to start. It's also new, well, I said new opportunities, new projects that you're beginning that may be quite lucrative or lead to other things for you. It's it's a card showing the Grim Reaper sitting on a white horse. Now, if you notice, the child there is next to him holding out a bunch of roses, so he's not afraid of death, as you may call him, because he knows it's just a change. It's not the end of life, as some people may think. I think most people who read the tarot, or most people who have had their cards read, know that this card is a card of transformation and change and opportunities. So, as I say, one thing ends and another one starts. It's not the complete end of anything. I mean, as you can see, he's got those flowers there that are in full bloom. And once you've got flowers that are in full bloom, they often start to form seeds for the next generation, the next project, the next life. You've got the white horse. Now, the horse has quite a few different meanings. Firstly, it's a symbol of strength. It's a symbol of purity and heroism. And it's also quite a gentle animal. It's also a symbol of loyalty. And they say that white horses are quite rare. I don't know whether that's true or not. Maybe somebody else can enlighten me on that. But it's also a symbol of freedom. So that is like freedom of spirit. So if you can think that death, the ending of something, means that if it's something that is no longer serves you and no longer has any meaning for you, it's actually freeing you up for something better to come into your life. So this is what's happening for those of you who picture card number one. You're basically being given the opportunity to get rid of anything that has outlived its purpose. So do a bit of spring cleaning, get rid of stuff in your house that no longer serves you, that is no longer of any use to you. Give it to somebody who can benefit from it. You know, old books, maybe old packs of tarot cards that you don't want, unless you're a collector like myself. But anything like that, old games, you know, teach children, get rid of the old games that are no longer any good for you. Sometimes kids like to keep things that they've outgrown in age. So teach them the meaning of getting rid of some of the stuff so that they can get something better in. As I say, books, ornaments, anything like that that no longer serves you, now is the time to start getting rid of those. As a symbol of freedom as well, this horse is also representative of people who are very independent. So this could be you, number one, people, very independent, not wanting to rely on other people, wanting to do everything yourself. So there could be a point in the next week or so where you have to rely on the help of somebody else. And you have to be a little bit dependent on somebody else to offer you assistance for something. It could even be just a small thing, picking something up from the shops for you because you don't have the time, or even helping you with something big like moving home or decorating or something like that. So that's another thing, independence and allowing people to help you when you need that help. So don't be afraid of that. Now the red in the background, that's energy, activity. You can see some pink there as well, some magenta, not all red. And it goes into magenta. Magenta is more of a playful colour. And the red is very energetic. Got some orange there as well. Orange is a lot more vibrant than red. Red can be quite an aggressive energy, whereas orange is more of a warm energy. And then, as I say, the magenta is more playful. So you've got all three colours there on the spectrum. Yellow is a link to divinity. It's also linked to the sunshine, which is why it's linked to divinity, because the sun is often seen in ancient cultures as the symbol of the source, God. So you've got that link there. So also expect some signs. If you are a bit lost at the moment, if you're not sure which way to go, if you're not sure what choices to make, ask the spirit guides, ask your guardian angels, ask the universe, ask God, whoever you normally deal with. We all have different things depending on what path you're on, obviously. So just ask for answers, ask for guidance, and they send signs to you. So now's the time to do that. That's the energy there that's coming up. It's time to act. So if you want answers, ask for them. If you want to start projects, now's the time to do it. You've got the red energy there to do it. You've got the purity as well with the horse. So that also is saying that whatever you want to do, whatever projects, whatever new ideas you want to put into motion, then make sure that you have integrity and sincerity. You have to have purity of thought, otherwise it won't go to plan. So the more sincere you are about what you want to do, the more successful you'll be, or the more likely to be successful you are. Okay, so that's number one, people. So thank you for joining me. Hope you like that card. As I say, that is one of my favourite cards. Not a bad card at all. Very nice card for new beginnings. So I'll see you next week, number one, people. And then we're going to go to number two. Okay, so this is the Ancient Egyptian Tarot by Clive Barrett. It's another one of my favourite decks, this one. Okay, so for number two, people, we have got the Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is quite hard work looking at that. If you look at these guys, they're lifting up a statue of Sekhmet. and she's the sun goddess. And are they moving it? Mind you, look at him, he's asleep there. Oh dear. You've got pyramids and the Sphinx at the back. So, yeah, the question is, are they actually moving the statue or putting it into place? But they can't do either with him sleeping on the job. So, which one are you, number two? Are you one of the guys doing all the hard work, or are you the one sleeping on the job? You're not going to get anything solved by sleeping on the job, but you're also not going to get anything solved if other people are sleeping on the job while you're doing all the hard work. So take a look around you, see who's not pulling weight. Check if it's you that's not pulling your weight. If it's somebody around you not pulling their weight, then go and have a quiet word with them. Hand them one of these sticks and tell them to get with it. I mean, you see this guy here, he's standing back and he's saying, well, no, why should I do all this hard work when he's fast asleep? Sekhmet is the, as I say, she's a sun goddess. She's the goddess of war, the goddess of magic, the goddess of healing, the goddess of life and death. She was actually very, very important in ancient Egypt, although we don't hear a lot about her from normal history books. She often is seen with the Ankh, that's like the cross with the circle on the top, as you may have seen. That's the Ankh, a symbol of life. And I'm told well, before the Victorians went into Egypt and started plundering the ancient sites, there were more statues of Sekhmet than of any other god. I don't know how true that is. Again, it's something I've been told. So if it's not true, please don't castigate me. I'm just repeating what I've been told there. Although I don't have, as I said, I don't have proof of it, of that type of thing, but I do know she was very important. The statues in many museums around the world, you probably find more likely to find a statue of Sekhmet than you are of any other Egyptian god, put it that way. So, as I say, when I look at this as well, because he's asleep there, it may well be that he's not well and that he needs some kind of healing. So again, if this is you, people who chose card number two, then Sekhmet is telling you to go and get some healing. Now, in ancient Egypt, if you think of those ancient times, they didn't have doctors, they didn't have surgeons like we have now, or hospitals and things like that. People went to the priest of a particular deity. Now, Sekhmet was the deity that the healers priests, I should say, were healers. So these were the people, the priests that the normal people would go and speak to if they needed some kind of healing. They also saw healing as being magic because these people would use natural things to heal people, and they often said incantations. They often made prayers to their deity. They cast spells to their deity, all different things. So these people, these ancient cultures, often saw these people as being magicians, sorcerers. They saw it as magic because they were using natural things to heal people. But Sekhmet is telling you to go and get healing. So if you are not well, if you do feel a little bit under the weather, no, it doesn't mean that you need loads and loads of medication or anything like that. I mean, obviously, it depends on what it is. I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose. So, if you are feeling under the weather and you feel like you need to speak to a doctor, then go and do it. Otherwise, if it's just something simple, then obviously you can find some natural stuff as well to help. And there's all kinds of different things on the market, so go and look into that. So looking at these down at the bottom there, they remind me of matchsticks, obviously a little bit bigger. And this is in the desert, so it's quite a fiery place, and Sekhmeti's got us of the sun. So I'm linking this to fire. I don't mean that anything's going to burn down or anything like that. But those of you who picked this card, I think maybe that's just telling you to just be a little bit careful. Maybe keep some candles or some matchsticks on the ready, just in case there's any power cuts. I'd keep just a few in the cupboard, just in case. I would also store things properly as well, looking at that there. Make sure you don't have any paper by electrical wires or plugs. Make sure you don't overload the sockets. As I say, he's just removed a stick away. That could be a picture of a wire being removed. So don't overload the sockets. If you're doing any electrical work, make sure you get somebody who's NICEC qualified or NICEC registered. At least that's for those in the UK. I don't know what the registration is in other countries. But get somebody who knows what they're doing. Don't just get a handyman to do it. Although some of them are very good with electrics and some of them are registered, properly registered, there are a lot of them that aren't. I've seen some quite horrific examples of work done by people who don't know what they're doing with wires across the room and all sorts of horrible things, very, very dangerous things. So if you need electrical work, get somebody in to do it properly. What else am I picking up from this one? Yeah, if you're doing anything heavy, number 2 people, if you've got a few jobs on that are quite hard, strenuous, heavy work, then get people to help you as well. There are people there who will help you. You may not need 5 people, you may only need the 3. But try and ask other people to help you, don't do it all yourself. Now, another thing for those of you who pick this card, you see that guy there, he's pointing down to the ground. So it looks to me like some of you may need to get a bit more grounded. Walking barefoot on the earth can do it. And also crystals. Most dark crystals are very good for grounding, especially the black ones and the red ones. Very good for grounding. And some of the green ones as well. So things off the top of my head, black obsidian, black tourmaline, red jasper. I think green aventurine is as well a good grounding stone. The aventurine is a bit softer than the others. Hematite is another one. That looks like hematite there to me. And hematite is a good Egyptian stone as well. So there you go. That's card number 2. Those of you who chose number 2, I hope you like your card. Join me next week as well. Thank you. Okay, so for number 3 people, this deck is the Witch's Tarot, another Witch's Tarot. This one is produced by Llewellyn and is designed and made by Ellen Cannon Reid. Alright, let's have a look what card we've got here. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. How nice is that one? There you go. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune. This is things are about to start looking up for you. You're about to hear some good news, number 3s. You've got quite a few trees in the background there. Trees are always representative of growth, natural growth as well. And as you can see here, you've got these people going up the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is always turning, always going round. So 1 minute it can be round at the bottom, and the next minute it'll be at the top. So it's just a cycle of life and death, cycle of nature, cycle of life itself. It's always turning. It's the circle itself is a symbol of eternity. It never ends. There's no beginning, there's no end on it. But looking at this for number 3, the first thing that stands out to me as well is the elderly person there. So I reckon those of you who chose number 3 will be dealing with elderly people for a while, and maybe helping them out. There's a lot of things to be done at the moment with for elderly people, because they've been kept basically as prisoners in their homes, haven't they? Basically as prisoners in the care homes. They're supposed to be there to care for them. What they've been doing is actually keeping them inside, locked in their rooms. They've had to have 2 weeks quarantine if they go to a doctor's appointment. They've basically been treated like prisoners and pariahs. So a lot needs to be done to actually get these people back on their feet, get their mental well-being back, because these people have been treated absolutely appallingly over lockdown, absolutely disgustingly. So I better stop there because I'm getting on a bandwagon, but you get my drift. Alright, so I reckon for those of you who chose card number 3, you may be dealing with elderly people for a while, helping them get back on their feet. And also the baby's at the top there as well. Now the baby, I don't think it's symbolic of children. I'm not getting the feeling of children with this card at the moment. Not at the moment anyway. But what I am getting is a feeling of a new beginnings, doors opening, or things changing in your life that could be actually quite good for you. A bit like the death card that we had in the first pack. New beginnings, doors opening. And I think that's what the baby is, the birth, so ideas being formed. But I think this is more of ideas being formed and maybe written down, like a business plan for instance, but not actually put into operation just yet. There are other things that need to be seen to, but the idea is forming and coming to fruition, but not quite there yet. So don't be disappointed at that, what I'm saying there, because obviously things need to be planned for, things need to be scheduled, organised. As I say, when you're doing a business plan, for instance, you try and set out what you're going to do for the next few years before you jump in and start it. You look at how you can grow it. And that's what I'm feeling there, that it's more of a plan of growth rather than actually starting it at the moment. It could also be something that you're already doing and you're adding to it. So if you have your own business, or if you have your own hobbies, for instance, or if you run a club or anything like that, you've got ideas that you are bringing into that sphere and you are adding to what you already do. The other thing I'm getting for this card is meditation as well. But I would say that if you're meditating, these people here are floating, and she is as well, floating, and also she is. Just get yourself a couple of crystals just to keep yourself grounded while you're meditating. Green crystals with this card, green ones. Green are linked to your heart chakra as well. And your heart chakra is for love, and that's love of all kinds. You could also choose rose quartz, because that's also a crystal to help bring love, or open your heart basically. It's any type of love. It doesn't just mean between a couple, it means parents, children, love between friends, love between work colleagues, and I don't mean sexual love either. I mean a heart based platonic love, and love of humanity as well. So the pink is also linked to the heart chakra, so pink or green crystals would help you. And the other one I'm picking up on that, the other crystal I'm picking up is celestite, which is pale blue. And that's another one, very calming, very blissful is a word that's coming into my head. And it would also help you with the meditation, just to keep you calm, but you need to be grounded. The green will ground you a bit more. Alright, so what else am I picking up there? Um, right, when I look at this card, the other thing I'm noticing, if you look in the background, it's almost like a mist. Just ignore the dirty marks, because these cards I've used and I've had for years and years, so they are a bit grubby. But it's almost like a mist in the background, and when you look at the trees as well, you can't actually see what's behind everything. It's like misty, but you can see the trees look very healthy. The trees are obviously growing really well, quite tall as well, full leaf. So whatever is behind the wheel, it must be something pretty good for this growth to occur. That gets me feeling that maybe those people who chose card number 3 not only are in for a bit of good luck, but also maybe there's some really good news coming to you very shortly, and maybe within the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. Good news, possibly related to something that you've been waiting to hear about as well. So look out for that. Letters in the post I'm getting in my head. What else? The blue is also the colour of calmness, and when you're recovering, not necessarily after an illness, but it can be recovery after an illness. It can also be recovering emotionally and mentally as well. But as I said, first of all, I was picking up the elderly people and spending time with the elderly people, getting them on their back on their feet. But maybe it's you yourself that needs a bit of emotional, mental support at the moment after everything that we've been through. And the blue crystal, the celestite that I mentioned, would help you with that as well. Blue is also quite a spiritual colour, so maybe getting in touch with your inner self during meditation and getting in touch with your guides, your guardian angels, God, whatever it is that you speak to, or whoever it is that you speak to, that might help as well. Okay, so that is card number 3 for those of you who chose number 3. I hope you like that, and thank you for joining me. Please click like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.